the caterpillar representing our conditioned self, the version of us shaped by our past experiences, our fears, and our limiting beliefs. And I think we have really nailed the idea of limiting beliefs on this platform the past 14 episodes, and tonight is not going to be another exception. You see, we live with the constraints of our old programming, that old programming that we simply struggle to get rid of. You know, much like people who feel stuck in their cycles of trauma, their cycles of illness or emotional struggles that they're going through. And the thing is that the caterpillar at that point doesn't know it will eventually become a butterfly, is in a state of ignorance. It only knows hunger and survival, the lower self. Much like how we seek external solutions instead of realizing transformation comes from within, where you are in such a state still where you believe happiness comes from outside. Your locus control is outside. You are depending on people and things outside to bring happiness in fulfillment for you. You live with that attitude of, if only Eve, it's only Eve. And so we keep on searching for love instead of being the expression of true love, where love inside of me being manifested is like a magnet that I draw onto myself instead of searching for love. Is any of you still on a dating site? You searching for love? No. The idea is when you become the expression of love, you don't have to search for it. It will come to you because the magnetic force within you, the vibrational energy within you will automatically attract it. Instead of searching for external validation, searching for things outside that will bring me happy. And what happens when we search for things outside and it doesn't come? It's all circumstantial because your happiness is then based on your circumstances. That's why many people say, I'm currently going through a very, very difficult time. My circumstances are against me. That is, unfortunately, the mindset of the caterpillar mindset, being stuck in that stage of its life and in a state of ignorance, not knowing how to get out of it, feeling hopeless, living on the edge of life through survival. It's just a fight or a flight instinct where the burnout happens. When people become so sick because of survival, every day is just a struggle, a battle for survival. That's the problem with the old identity. That's the worm. But you know what? There's hope for us. We can move to the next stage, the chrysalis stage, the breakdown and the surrender. And this is hopefully where many of you are currently at, where the caterpillar enters a cocoon, where it completely dissolves into a liquid state before reforming as a butterfly. It's a quiet time of your life. It's a dark time of your life. This is a power and energy for your healing, because true transformation requires a dissolution of old identities. That job that you've just lost, that marriage that's just broke down, that the custody over parenting of your child you've just lost, your bankruptcy that you're facing, you're going into a dark stage. You are going into the chrysalis phase of your life, of a stage of breakdown where you need to surrender to the flow of life. And true transformation requires the stage of where the old identity and patterns need to be broken down. Because many people, you'll see tonight, they try to fix themselves, and this is not what the butterfly can do. The butterfly is not going to fix itself. The butterfly is transforming. And the thing is that many people fear this stage. They fear being on their own. They fear to break over to the infinite field of the unknown, the paradigm shift. They fear it to break out of that cocoon, the cocoon of comfortability. But the cocoon is also busy strangling you. Just like the little baby eagle chicken in its nest, when the mum starts to pluck at all the feathers of the nest and the thorns is coming through, and it's pricking, it's hurting. It's a time of uncertainty, loss, and even chaos. But it's actually just the announcement of the rebirth of the new self that is busy happening now. So when you are in this stage of your life and you find yourself in this stage, don't think that you are dying. Before the new can be reborn, being birthed in your life, the old has to let go of. The old mindset of limitation, the old limiting beliefs of the lesser idea I think of myself. Now I am under scrutiny, and it's a painful stage many times. It's a time of loneliness. It's a time of isolation. It's a crisis in your life, and you may think it's the end. But let me give you hope tonight, ladies and gentlemen. This is necessary for you to be in this stage. It's absolutely necessary for you to go into this flow of events and to just be there. And as you are in this stage, embrace it. Don't fear it. Don't fear it when you are in this stage. When you experience how your partner walks away, when you experience, like I spoke this week to people, couples who have lost it was a miscarriage, and how they were totally shattered. It's this stage of their life. And how we can find sense in this brokenness of us when we find ourselves in that stage. And we just need to embrace it. Because stage 3 is where the butterfly will emerge, and that's what I'm going to focus tonight on. The new identity that is coming forward, the new you that needs to come forward. And you will be surprised what lies in you, the potential that lies within you when you embrace your new identity, when you completely change. Because now the butterfly, there's nothing that resembles of the butterfly in comparison to a caterpillar. You can't imagine it used to be a caterpillar. It's a new identity. And what I want to focus on tonight is helping you to create a totally complete, new, different you from the former self. Now you are flying, it's got wings. It's a new way of moving. Everything is new. And what is new is sometimes not freeing or liberating, but it can be scary for many people because it is actually exciting. An entire new perspective on your life, entire new perspective on your divorce that you went through, the job that you lost, the sickness that you have, a whole new perspective, a shift into a new state of being that you have. No, it's not one. It's one that is not defined anymore by your past wounds or limitations. Because as I always say, now at this stage where you enter, your past does not represent or define the present anymore. The present moment, by looking back at the past, is redefining the past because you're looking at your past with a new perspective. And now you can see the purpose of everything, because in everything we are going through, there's a purpose. There's a purpose in everything that we experience. Rather than trying to repair the caterpillar, the butterfly becomes something entirely new. Just as we can shift into a version of ourselves that no longer carries the wound of the past. Now you may ask me, Jath, how's that possible? I remember many years ago, I had a BlackBerry. Any of you had a BlackBerry? Oh, and when the BlackBerries started becoming old. We were clinging onto our old BlackBerries, and the new smartphones were emerging. But we clung on to our BlackBerries, and we will even take it to the repair shop to fix it. And I've been spending money, lots of rands on my broken BlackBerry. One day I realized I'm so used to the BlackBerry, the comfortability of the BlackBerry, but it keeps on breaking, and I've been spending money, and every month I take it back to the repair shop until one day I realized, throw it away. Get yourself a new smartphone. And that's what I'm talking about. And maybe it's a new idea, you've been thinking, I need to fix myself. I need to get fixed. No. It's time for a whole new you to manifest and to emerge. That's what we are talking about tonight. You get it? That's the excitement. If you know me from 10 years ago, the Jeff that's sitting here tonight talking to you, ladies and gentlemen, is not the same person. It's a whole different version of myself. That identity, how I used to be, doesn't exist in my mind. Maybe it's existing in another parallel reality, but that's not where I want to buy into in that reality that exists also in the present moment, but I don't want to buy into that version of Jeff because it doesn't serve me anymore. That broken Jeff, that insecure Jeff, that little boy Jeff I don't want to go back to that one anymore. It doesn't trigger me anymore to go back to that one because I let it go. I've put the book back into the shelf in that reality of the present moment, and it doesn't serve me anymore. I'm letting it go. Simple, eh? That's the whole idea of the power of change in our lives that we can experience. But now, let's get to the real stuff here. Why healing isn't about fixing, but about shifting states. You see? Energy flows where attention goes. So shifting your focus to the new reality that you desire to be is the key. See, many people approach healing with the mindset of something is wrong with me and I need to fix it. We're in the fix-it industry. And this fix-it idea reinforces a state of lack and struggle. You see tonight what I'm saying? And maybe it's a new idea, but it's very fresh and very challenging, but very much liberating. True healing isn't about fixing a broken version of yourself, but shifting into a new state of being where the issue no longer exists in the same way. I'm speaking to you about a shifting tonight. Instead of thinking to fight the old and to fix the old BlackBerry you, it's time for a swap. Don't you think so? Instead of constantly looking for the next solution, problem solution, or cure, you need to recognize that healing is about aligning with a version of yourself that no longer carries the wound. Now you may ask me tonight, Jeff, how on earth is it possible? It is. You need to shift. Let me give you an example there at the bottom. Instead of asking, how do I get rid of anxiety in my life? Ask the following question. Who am I when I feel inner peace? And how do I embody that state now? This is deep stuff I'm sharing with you tonight because many of you have been programmed in the fixing mindset. Now, it's about the idea of a new version of yourself. Those of you who feel stuck in a certain situation, have you ever allowed your imagination to line up with your feelings of excitement about that new scenario that you have in your mind? Because if you can see it in your mind, you can get it. But if you combine the seeing with a feeling associated to the picture in your mind, you are sealing it. That's the power. That's the power. Does it make sense? Because It's not about fixing, but about shifting the states that you need to work in. And remember, we've always said before, this is the problem. We're fixing, the fixing idea. We keep on working on the past. We keep on working on the stuff of the past. I'm not against it, but there needs to come a time where you need to understand that this past future scenario or the idea is not working because it just keeps on reinforcing the predictable future reality. And that's why many people's future is exactly the same as yesterday. Tomorrow will be the same as yesterday because they keep on trying to fix themselves and talking about their problems and have a problem solution idea of fixing, repairing. I need to repair. And what we are talking about tonight is that get back to the present moment. And the person that you would like to become in your future is the person that you need to become today. The thoughts that you want to have tomorrow, you need to plant it today. It's your responsibility. The feelings about the excitement of your new job that you want to apply for, that new relationship, that relocation that you envision must be felt today, because if you put in the intention behind it, that intention of what I want to do with my work, my health, my relationship, my finances, my spiritual life, and you assign now an elevated emotion to it now, just the mere thought of that new possibility of a new job excites me now. That's it. That's the idea. That elevated emotion that needs to be aligned and associated with the intention of what you want to move into the quantum field, the field of all possibilities, ladies and gentlemen. And that's the whole idea of what we are talking about here tonight. So let's get back to what we are talking here about. If we think about fixing, we are not moving out of this loop that I have explained to you. Now, you don't heal by fighting the old. You heal by aligning with the new. Otherwise, it's just a paralysis of the analysis of our problem. And we keep on talking about our problem, but we don't see the bigger picture yet. And the bigger picture, we say, everything exists. All the potential exists within ourselves. It is there. Now, the vibrational nature of health and your well-being you need to understand, because your body is not just a machine. It's an energy system. You're a powerhouse. It's a power station. And this power station, this energy system, responds to your emotions, your beliefs, and which is the frequency, because your frequency is manifested through your emotions and your belief systems. Whether it's a belief system that exists on a conscious or a subconscious level, doesn't matter, because every state of being has a vibrational frequency in the universe. Everything vibrates. The frequency is just differs. Like fear, stress, and guilt operate absolutely at a different frequency than love, joy, and gratitude. It's a frequency. It's energy. So health is not just the absence of disease. Health is a harmonious vibration of the mind and your body. It's a harmonious vibration of your mind and your body. Because when we focus on raising our vibration through our thought systems and our beliefs that we are changing, I'll show you later on, what's going to happen? When we change, when you raise the level of our vibration, what is happening is through our thoughts, emotions, and our actions, we create an internal environment. And a new internal environment that allows the healing for nature, for naturally, to unfold it. Because you need to understand that your internal state, your internal environment, will reflect on your external environment, your circumstances. You put it like this. Look at your circumstances, your work situation, your finances, your relationship. What's happening in your environment is simply a reflection of the inner environment. I always give the example of if my motor car inside is a mess, it's just a reflection of my internal mess. If my house, my studio, everything is a mess, yeah, it's just a reflection of my inner mess. Your external environment is a reflection of your inner environment, and you and I have to take responsibility and accountability for it and stop blaming your circumstances because it's only a reflection of your inner state. And instead of judging yourself by feeling overwhelmed, oh, so I feel so guilty, so you just suggest, you say, my circumstances I've attracted to myself, so I'm doomed. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Sorry for yourself is not going to get you anywhere. Hello? By blaming yourself or others for your circumstances, you're just down spiraling it, making worse. You are reinforcing the reality that you are powerless. You can't change your circumstances because you believe the power lies outside. And what we are talking about tonight is that I need a new approach in my life. So that's the whole challenge here tonight. And it's possible that we can make that change. I'm going to show you tonight how it can work. Okay. So I want to focus now on the placebo effect. It's just amazing how science supports the placebo effect that shows us that belief alone can trigger your psychological healing. I want to share with you two examples that maybe you've heard of before, of how powerful the mind actually is and how you can raise your vibrational nature so that your mind can heal you. Because through the mind, what the mind believes will secrete and release appropriate emotions, and that emotions can have an impact on your body as deep as up to your cellular level. In psychology, we learned about the famous study conducted by a doctor during the Second World War who found that morphine was running low on the battlefield. So what the doctors did, they began injecting wounded soldiers with saline solution. What they told them, this is a powerful painkiller. Made the soldiers believe it. And surprisingly, many soldiers stopped experiencing pain despite receiving no real medication. Their belief alone triggered the endorphin releases, which acted as a natural pain reliever. That's the placebo effect. And so it's just powerful how the placebo effect works on the mind. Now, I'm not going to mention the name of the hospital where I worked before. It was a rehabilitation center for drug dependent and alcohol dependent individuals. We had a problem always there with patients who couldn't sleep. And what the matron then started to do there, she got herself these capsules and she just emptied the pills and just turn it into a placebo. And then she would say to the patients, when they come to her, say, "Matron, I can't sleep." Then it's 2 o'clock in the morning, the patient complains, "Matron, I can't sleep, please give me some medication." And what we used to do in that place, we would then give the patient this placebo. We say, "Listen, you must be very careful with this. This stuff is very strong. And I'm going to give it to you now, but maybe even before you're going to go to bed, you're going to may even fall asleep. So let me just help you." Thank you, matron. I really appreciate that. And with no exception, guess what happened? They were all sleeping. It was not even a sleep medication. The placebo effect, the power of the mind. We also know under hypnosis, when a person is on hypnosis and you light up a cigarette and you say, I'm going to burn you, but you're not doing it, and imagine it, and then literally the person will then get blisters because of the idea of the burned wounds is their reality. The mind is very powerful, and you can change your mindset by using this principle in a positive way, through visualization, through meditation. You can change it. That's the power. That's the whole potential that I want to give you tonight, that you need to raise your vibrational nature. And through our thoughts, through our emotions and our actions, it can change. And that's the power. Now, following this, I would like to share with you this idea that the frequency you emit is the reality that you create. Isn't this beautiful? The frequency that you emit through your thoughts, through your emotions, is the reality that you create. And we can change it. And I want to help you tonight how you can shape your whole life, your whole reality, because your belief system shape your biology. Your belief system shape how your emotions will flow, because your emotions is simply a production, a consequence of your belief system. And what happens is that your body just responds to your expectations and perceptions just as much as to actual medical interventions. That's the power, because all those chemicals, the endorphins that the medication, the medicine releases, also already exist in your body. You just need to find a way to release it. It is there. It all is based on the belief system. But if you've been trapped in a generational belief system that stems back 100 years back, and I'm going to share with you a few of them tonight, then obviously you're not going to get your healing because you're stuck in that loop. That's what I want to help you tonight, to break free from that. Now, how do we change the narrative of illness and dis-ease? You see, words and thoughts create reality. Let me put it like this. Words create worlds. Your reality, your world. And many people reinforce illness through their internal dialogue, whether it's on a conscious or on a subconscious level. It is there. Now, I want to just give you a few ideas here. Instead of saying, I have anxiety, I even hear people say, my depression, my borderline personality disorder. Instead of saying, I have anxiety, or I suffer from chronic pain, you need to shift it to, I am experiencing temporary discomfort, but my body is always healing. You need to start saying it. Instead of saying, I'm struggling with anxiety, you can say, I am learning to cultivate inner peace and trust. Instead of saying, I'm always tired and drained, you say, my body is calling for rest now, and I'm learning to nourish it better. Doesn't it sound different? You're shifting your reality. Instead of saying, oh, I never have enough money, I'm always coming short too much month at the end of money, you can say, I'm opening myself to new opportunities, financial flow, and for abundance in my life. I'm opening myself up to learn more about financial abundance. I hear so many times another mindset. of how people reinforce anxiety. I've got trust issues. You need to reframe it. You can say, for instance, I am learning to trust myself and attract safe, supportive relationships. See, it's a shift. And that's an instant shift that you are making, and you remind yourself. You see, you can listen to this video tonight because I'm going to put it on YouTube, on the Ancient Master YouTube channel, so that you can write down these ideas, how you can reframe your mindset and get rid of this old way of being in the caterpillar state. Now, other people will say, like, I am stuck in life. You can reframe it by saying, I am in a transition period, gaining clarity on my next step. Instead of reinforcing the picture of stuck, because that picture in your mind is a very negative picture. But if I say, I am in a transition period, gaining clarity over my next step. Here's another one. I always self-sabotage. Bad things are always happening to me. You can say rather, I am becoming more self-aware and making choices that support my highest good. Immediately, you are shifting it. And the more you say it and you associate it with the feeling of this new idea, you are recreating your reality. You are shifting yourself. You are reprogramming yourself. Here's another one. Many people will say, healing is so hard and it's slow and it's going to take a long time, many years of therapy. Nonsense. You can say, every day I am shifting into greater well-being and strength. I've got an affirmation that I keep on saying every day to myself for the past 8 years. Every day and in every way, my life is getting better and better. I remember when I had financial stress, I would say every day and in every way, my life is getting better and better. I remember when I was still on medications, prescribed medications, many years ago. That's how I started to change it. Every day and every way, my life is getting better and better. But I don't feel like this. I needed to manifest it first before it could happen. I hear many times people say, another way of a limiting belief, I'm a broken person. You can rather say, I'm whole and I am integrating all parts of myself with love. Doesn't it sound better? Just to reframe the whole situation, because you need to recreate it, your reality. Here's another one. I have to fight my fears. Oh, I've got so many fears in my life. You can reframe it by saying, I'm learning to move through fear with courage and self-compassion. And you say it over and over to yourself, and you remind yourself of it. What's going to happen? You're changing your perception. Here's the last one, another example. I can't let go of the past. I hear this so many times, people say. What about this new idea, a new perspective like this? I am choosing to create a new future by being present in this moment. I'm creating and choosing to create a new future by being present in this moment. And all of these shiftings is possible because you decide to stay in the moment, return to the present moment, and in the present moment, you start recreating your new reality. I've given you now more than 12 examples. You can pick the ones that work the best for you. And then you start writing it down. You can write these thoughts even in a mirror, ladies, with lipstick. And guys, if you also use lipstick, do it. Nowadays, many things go, eh? So then you do it. So that's the whole idea. And even if you want to do it in a song, no, why not grab your guitar or ukulele and, instead of saying, what's that one? I've got trust issues. I'm learning to trust myself and attract safe, supported relationships. Instead of saying I'm stuck in life, I am in a transition period, gaining clarity on my next step. On my next step. Make a joke out of it. Don't be so serious about this stuff. I'm just giving you some examples. What I'm saying, print it in your mind. Get in. Remember last week, I got hold of that stupid plunger of mine. Get rid of these old toxic beliefs. And remember then, I stuck the plunger to my head to get rid of it, and then the plunger was literally stuck. It looked like an extension, you're like a horn, you're from my head. You remember, you can watch the previous video. It was quite funny. But this is the idea, to imprint the stuff in your mind. You get it? So here's another one. Some people just say, I have to fight my fears. I have to fight my fears. No, man, don't sing those kind of, and write, I hear many times young people, when they write poems, it's this negative doom and gloom, negative stuff. And what they're doing, they're just reinforcing the negative over their lives. So instead of writing poems about negative stuff that they're re-imprinting their mind and making it a sick reality, remember I said, so I'm learning to move through fear with courage and self-compassion. Turn it into a song in your mind. I am learning to move through fear with courage and self-compassion. Yeah, self-compassion. Oh, I love myself. Yes. Positive words that you speak over yourself. Now, maybe if you don't play guitar, you can just play it off in your mind. Turn it into a song. Turn it into affirmation. These things. Because you don't want to think the old way. Like life sucks. Life is difficult. Life is unfair. And when you say these things, you are creating it. Because your mouth is a mouthpiece of creation. I always say to myself, one of the affirmations I say to myself, Jeff, your words as a therapist is law. What you speak, you create. You create worlds in people's lives. But likewise, you are also doing it. And you're going to have to be careful what you speak. And when we reframe it, like I'm showing you tonight, you are busy shifting into another reality. Do you agree with me? It's possible. I'm giving you practical examples tonight, ladies and gentlemen, how you can shift it. Because every time when you speak, every word you speak shapes your experiences. Every thought you are thinking and aligning it with the word, you are creating something because you are a creative being. And the more you affirm that reality, whether it's positive or negative, you are creating it because the more your mind and even your body aligns with it. So, now my question is, with all of these shifts that I've shared with you now, which of these shifts will you start using today? It's up to you. I'm just giving you an opportunity, because many of you are being stuck, you're running in circles, because you are still thinking the same thoughts and beliefs that you thought yesterday. In order to break this, before you can see the change in your circumstances, yes, you're thinking, there's your circumstances, or you don't like your circumstances. But before you can change this first need to change. It's not, I wait for better days to come. I hope for a rescue. Oh God, you must help me. They even pray like, the old man upstairs must help you. But when you realize the divinity is inside of you, the answer, the voice of the high, most supreme high is inside of you. And that's the answer. The answer is not in the environment. I need to inside first manifest the new realities. I need to create it with my words before my circumstances will change, before I can pop out of it, before I can see the raise in my salary, before I can see improvement in my marriage, before I can see the relationship between me and my child is restored. I first need to change. That's the whole idea of tonight. Does it make sense? Right. So, I'm excited about this topic tonight. It's so close to my heart. You see, every word you speak is an affirmation, whether it's positive or negative. And this is where you need to choose words that create the reality that you desire. That's powerful, eh? Now, the connection between belief, energy, and your physical health is real. Because the body doesn't just react to external conditions. Nope. It responds to internal beliefs and expectations. For instance, as I said before, if you believe healing is slow, difficult, or impossible, your body will follow that script. Your thoughts is a script. And emotions like resentment, fear, and helplessness create physiological stress responses that weaken even the immune system and slow healing. No wonder every time when you hate your job and you go back to your job, you get sick. So many people on Mondays, they are sick because they can't wait for Friday because they hate their job. It's all what the mindset thinks about these circumstances. Now, the power of radical acceptance is very, very real here. Instead of resisting your illness, you see what we are doing tonight? You need to acknowledge your pain. You need to acknowledge the negative belief systems. You need to acknowledge the pain of your emotions that's undesirable without attaching to it. Because resistance locks energy in place, while acceptance allows flow. So that resistance just locks the energy up. And I've said before in our previous broadcast that meditation and breath work can help you, visualization, gratitude practices, and the releasing stored trauma exercises can work. But these are powerful tools to reset the nervous system through meditation and breath work. And visualization, as I explained tonight, aligned with the emotion, the feeling that you want in terms of your intention that you put out, to seeing yourself as already healed. No wonder from the Christian Bible, people read, by his stripes you are healed. Not that you will become healed one day, you are healed. It's the same concept here. The only difference is that neuroscience is just affirming about how ancient scriptures are talking the truth here. Now, gratitude practices just seals the whole deal, but because feeling appreciation for what your body can do opens the door towards impossibilities, from impossibility towards infinite possibilities. And that's what I want to focus here tonight on, because you need to adopt the identity of someone who is already healing. See, one of the most powerful shifts in healing is moving from trying to heal I hear so many times people, I will try. Trying won't work. Instead of trying to heal, to become rather someone who is healing, to have that belief, I am getting healed. Instead of seeing yourself as a person stuck in pain, illness, or emotional struggle, you step into the mindset and habits of someone who is already transforming. You can ask yourself, for instance, how does a person who is thriving think, feel, and act? Ask yourself. Ask yourself, the healed version of me, what daily choices do I make? How do I speak to myself? Because once you clarify this, begin embodying these qualities now. Your brain doesn't know the difference between what is real and what is consistently imagined. Remember the placebo effect. Even what is imagined, just a thought for many people about a snake slithering into your house freaks you out. It's just a thought. It's the same concept. And if you understand this concept, what I'm sharing with you now, you will start rewiring yourself to align yourself with the identity that you adopt. Let me give you an example. How some people can shift from chronic stress to inner peace. The old mindset was, I'm an anxious person, I can't help but worry all the time, and I get panic attacks the whole time. Well, it's time for you to reframe it. I am becoming someone who trusts life and feel at ease. Now, how do we embody it? You begin every day with 5 minutes of deep breathing and gratitude, and constantly pause when stress comes. When it arises, you ask, what would be a calm, centered person do right now? You become mindfully aware of it. And you start to surround yourself with environments and people that reinforce the inner peace. And get yourself a coaching, accountable buddy to do it together with. Let me give you another example of how this shifting can work. When we shift from physical struggle to a vibrant health. The old mindset was, oh, my body is weak, and I have to fight my illness. I have to fight this thing. The new mindset is, my body is healing, and I support it with love and care. How do you embody it? You start speaking kind words to your body of gratitude. Body, thank you for working to heal me. When you have cancer in your body, wherever it is in your body, touch your hand on that part of your body and say, body, whether it's your breast, wherever the pain, wherever it is, just touch your hand there now. And thank your body with gratitude for being able to take you far as up to now. And what are you doing? You are releasing the highest elevated emotion possibly when you come to your body, you start touching your body parts that is suffering. And you say to that part, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I love you, body. From now I'm going to take better care of you. Let my mind and my body be connected with each other in unison, because I'm so grateful for this body that's been carrying me for so many years. Even through my traumas, my failures, my setbacks, my body has been there for me. Instead of start abusing alcohol or cutting yourself or any form of self-harm because your environment is overwhelming, don't turn towards yourself. Thank your body for doing its best up to now. Even that inner child of you did her or his the best to survive. And they did a good job, because as you are watching this video, you are alive. Thank your body with gratitude. Keep on doing this as a habit, over and over. What are you busy doing? You are manifesting something totally new in your life. You can change. But it all starts with the narrative in your mind the words, the pictures, and then the emotions that will just flow from it. Now, your body hears everything what your mind says. Every single word your body picks up. If you say, I'm struggling, your body picks it up. Okay, I must struggle. I'm not saying you must not keep on or not being invalidated. There's a place for validation, how you feel. But then there needs to come a point where you acknowledge the pain, and then you need to non-attach yourself from it. Let it go. Feel it, acknowledge the pain, and let it go. That's the whole idea of change. We are not insensitive when we are still in the caterpillar stage towards someone who's there. During the caterpillar stage, we need to be treated with love and care because we are preparing ourselves for what lies ahead. Now I want to give you some practical steps that's available to embody this healed and whole version of yourself. Number one, as I said tonight, you need to shift your focus from the problem to the solution. You need to shift your focus from the problem to the solution. And that's possible. That's absolutely possible when you say, instead of being obsessed over symptoms, you start focusing on creating an environment where healing can happen. And you start adopt the identity of someone who is already healing. The same way before a millionaire can become a millionaire, he's behaving like a millionaire. Before a person can open the dance school, she needs to visualize herself as the dance instructor. She needs to see it, she needs to feel it in advance to attract it towards herself. And this new identity, before it manifests, you first need to see it and you need to start behaving accordingly. You can ask the question, how does a person who is thriving think? How do they feel? And how do they act? How does a millionaire act? What's the mindset every day that they do? What are their habits? Start practicing these habits now. Another way how we learn in this journey to shift is to tune into the body's wisdom. You need to listen to what your body is saying to you. You know we need to put the brakes on. You know when it's necessary to rest, when you need to move, to nourishing your body, or when it's time for emotional release. You need to know it. Come in contact with yourself. Create those daily rituals that I've spoken earlier. I've given you so many examples tonight. Rituals in your daily routine that reinforce healing, like the morning gratitude practice, breath work, mindful eating, affirmations. Many of you on this program, I know you have taken it very serious. You say, I need to change my lifestyle. This morning someone in the group said to me, Jeff, when I wake up in the mornings, I start with my gratitude prayer. In the past, I used to skip breakfast. I'm having my breakfast. I'm staying in contact with my body the whole time. I'm learning consciously to say more no than yes to people. I'm gently dealing with myself. I'm gently with handling my body because I don't want to go back into the old mindset. I'm leaving the old behind. I'm redesigning myself. I'm reinventing myself. I'm cutting off toxic people that do not serve me. I'm cutting all ties with limiting beliefs that do not serve me anymore. I'm letting go of painful memories that I don't want to go back into the past. Me and my partner that's getting better in our relationship. We've made a decision not to dig up the past anymore. Both being committed to stay in the present and to love each other in the present moment and not to dig up the past. Now, that's why we say these new rituals reinforce the healing in our lives. When we learn to surround ourselves with environments that support our health, and if you're not there, because of your new mindset, because of your shift inside, it's inevitable that your environment will change, because you will start to reduce your exposure to negativity, stress, or toxic relationships. You are no longer addicted to drama. You're no longer attached to the trauma, because the attachment and the beliefs that is supporting the attachment do not serve you any longer. The bitterness of the injustice that someone has done to you in the past, that bitterness do not serve you anymore. Therefore, you're letting go. You're releasing it because it's not serving you anymore. You're learning to align yourself with your higher self and not to listen in terms of final decision making to your lower self anymore. You're being guided by your final decisions, by your higher self, and you are getting better and better. You are reassigning yourself to a new truth about you, who you actually are. You're not the version of yesterday. That doesn't define you anymore. You're not susceptible anymore to other people's limiting opinions about you, which is anyway just a representation and a projection of their own insecurities. So why buying into their twisted beliefs and their pain that they try to project over to you? When the boss is saying, you're good for nothing. When your ex is saying, who wants you? And you realize, I used to take that very serious. That's why there's some trigger points, because I still am buying into the limiting beliefs. Every time when you've been triggered, you need to become aware of the limiting belief system deep embedded in your soul that is still harboring that pain, manifested in emotion every time when someone scratches in that area, when someone steps on the landmine. It's time for you, when it happens, when that trigger moment happens, to dig deep within your soul and to explore the limiting belief system, the clusters of belief systems that you are still accommodating, that you are still attached to. And once you become aware, you are changing. You are changing. You become a new version of yourself. You are flying. You are free to be your authentic self. You're not living in the past anymore. That butterfly doesn't think about the days of a caterpillar. It doesn't serve it anymore for where it is now. The butterfly is in the moment. There's been a metamorphosis in the butterfly. And that butterfly is free. And it can be you tonight. It's possible. It's possible if you want to change. You just need to embrace these points, these practical steps that I've shared with you tonight, to embody a healed and whole version of yourself by applying these principles. And finally, live as if you are already the person you wish to become. Do I need to say more? I think I've covered everything here tonight. Just a few points here. Thank you so much for tuning in here tonight. Remember, anyone who wants to still become part of the coaching, mentoring program that we have online, check there in the comment section. It's there available. If you want to buy any of the books, go to theancientmaster.com. Plenty of my books that's still available there. And if anyone wants to still join, Liz, I don't know. You must just tell us, do we still have some space left for people on the mindfulness meditation and the retreat that we have from the 11th till the 13th of April next month? And I just want to check with you if we still have people that would like to join us there. And if you miss it, and if there's no more space available, we will have more coming. So that's my few announcements. Thank you for your comments here tonight. I'm so glad that we could spend time tonight. Sorry, my apologies for Facebook. That was a bit giving me some trouble with not willing to link up it with the software program, but everything was done. In fact, I spent extra time with you. So without any further ado, here it is. I am very happy. I'm in my festive mode. What a wonderful evening it was. I just enjoy every moment of it. So by now I believe that we have also got rid of all the negative. You doomed out all the negative doom fogger thoughts, that you got rid of that the new version of you is here to embrace the newness of life. So if you are that person who's willing to take up the challenge, you know what? For you, I'm taking off my hat. Until next Sunday evening, 6 o'clock. Have a blessed week. It was good to have you on board. Be blessed. Love yourself.